you hadn't heard me scream yet.
Now, can you do this?
And I was like, we'll find out.
She can scream. I mean, and the movie's called Scream. Let's get it out. If you like scary movies, you're in the right place, because I am talking to the cast and director of Scream 7, Isabel May, Kevin Williamson, and Neve Campbell. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I would like to start with something that's very important to the Scream franchise, which is opening scenes. And there's probably not a lot that you can tease about the opening scene of Scream 7, but I am curious to know what it sort of adds to the lineage of opening scenes in the Scream franchise.
Okay. Well, this one wrote, I think, one of the best first 15 minutes of a film in history. And I think I'm not the first one to say it. I think many people have said that.
Oh,
and
well.
because he did that, it puts a lot of pressure on all the rest of the films. But I think we've pulled it off on all of them, and we certainly have on this.
It kind of became a thing. You know, it definitely was in the first one because I wanted to sort of do the Janet Leigh thing with Psycho, which is, you know, an opening scene that goes just long enough so you think, oh, she's going to live. You do turn that corner where you think, okay, this is going on so long. It's Drew Barrymore. She's going to live. She's the star of the movie. And then, boom, she gets killed. I mean, that was the whole game behind it. And then the second film, we just kind of created it happened again. And so now it's become a thing. And so, yes, the pressure's on to sort of one up and, you know, and to keep it going. And in this one, we don't want to give it away, but.
Totally one up it.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we went home to go big.
That is I think that is as good a tease as you could possibly give without giving anything away. So I'll take that. Neve, obviously, you know, you and Kevin have been part of this franchise since day one, of course. But Kevin, this is your first time directing. And so, Neve, I'd be so curious to know what it was like being directed by Kevin in Scream 7.
Yes. What was it like?
Sucked. No, no, it was heaven. It was heaven. Kevin's you've wanted to direct one of these for a long time, and I don't really understand why he hadn't yet. And I was very excited that I got to make the call when we had the discussion. I was like, can I please be the one? Let me call. And we were in tears. Right? We were in tears, which was really lovely because I was so stoked for him. We've been friends for 30 years, and he created these characters. He knows them better than any of us, you know? So it was just so exciting and delightful to watch him, like a kid in a candy store, be able to do this and, you know, take it. No, I loved it. I loved it.
And Kevin, this is your first time directing since teaching Mrs. Tingle. A lot has changed in Hollywood since those days. What about returning to directing sort of surprised you? Or were there any surprising challenges maybe?
Well, I think you hit it on the head. So much has happened between 1998 just in terms of the mechanics. We actually don't use film anymore. I did have the comfort level of being a storyteller on set, but I was also very nervous. I wanted to stay nervous. I wanted to stay on my toes. I didn't want to ever get too comfortable, like, oh, I know what I'm doing. No, I don't. I have to constantly show up every day and try to tell the best story, and really work hard. So I tried to approach it as if it was the first and last time I was ever going to direct.
And hopefully it's not. I really hope it's not.
But it might be. So you just have to sort of go big or go home and just really just give it everything you have and surround yourself with a wonderful cast.
Yeah, leave it all out on the field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isabel, obviously you're joining the franchise as Tatum, as Sidney's daughter. I'm really curious to know from a performance perspective, did you find yourself trying to emulate sort of pieces of Neve's performance as Sidney, or was it important to try to go your own way with it or find a balance?
Yeah, in a way, maybe I was definitely inspired by the way that she has portrayed Sidney for all of these years and kind of wanted to emulate that a little bit, but obviously give Tatum her own personality, her own energy and essence.
And that must have been sort of an out-of-body experience for you, Neve, seeing Isabel come in and sort of step into the shoes that you were in the first movie. Any advice going over to Isabel at all on set about how to, kind of navigate this?
She's a pro. She knows what she's doing, to be honest. If anything, Isabel was saying earlier that, I did talk to her just about how to keep your energy levels up and pace yourself, because of these films, the schedule, we're shooting nights and then days and then nights, and it's very challenging, both mentally and physically. So I did talk about that, but I mean, she's such a talent. And when it comes to performance of being like Sidney, I think that comes down to the casting. I think, there's a weight to Sidney, and there's a weight to Isabel personally, not in a down way, but she has a gravitas to her that I think leans towards Sidney's energy as well.
Tatum, listen to me. He's trying to find another way in. We're going to do this together. You're going to have to shoot him through the wall. Where? To the right of the door. Shoot him now! Do it now! Oh, you got it.
Of course, a piece of this movie that is a massive mystery and will remain so, I'm sure, is the method by which we have all these returning legacy cast members who are coming back. We know that David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Scott Foley, we know all these people are coming back. We have no idea how. So I guess just from a personal standpoint, maybe as a fan of the franchise and as people that have worked with these folks for a long time, what did it mean to you to have them be part of Scream 7?
I will say it was exciting. Yeah. It was fun. It was nice to see these people on set. That was fantastic. But I don't think we can say a whole lot more than that.
No, not too much. But I do think it adds to the 30-year anniversary of it all. And it's sort of, there is a sort of a nostalgic factor. By having Sidney return and sort of tell her story, but then also have sort of the birth of a final girl before our eyes, Tatum, you get both.
I'm very excited to see them back. We've spoken a little bit about this, but I'd like to dig a little deeper into it for Neve and Isabel. I'm fascinated by the technical aspect of acting in a horror movie. For you two, what are some of the technical nuances of the performance of a ghost face encounter that people may be surprised by, something that's harder than it looks on screen?
I know the challenge for me with these films has always been, you're almost always in a state of fear, these characters. And Sidney less so now because she's got a bit of, I've got this, but it's still there. The truth, if you're going to be truthful, it has to be there. And for me, the challenge has always been like having colors of that. It can't all be one tone. It has to, you have to find what levels of fear the person's in and what levels of strength she has in every moment and why. And I would say that's probably the challenges. Each of those moments are different depending on what's happening personally within the scene. It's not just about, oh, here we go. There's a lot of other things going on.
The progression and being able to maintain, obviously, that kind of emotional state for as long as you possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
I think in a very technical way, screaming without screaming, I sort of learned that you place it somewhere in your throat where you're not actually using vocal cords. I don't know if but that's how I maintained it without losing my voice, because that's what I was very fearful of is, oh no, suddenly production stops because one of your actors can't say anything, or they're just going to have to dub the crap out of it, PR crap out of this. Fortunately, that did not happen. But yeah. And I was also nervous. I really wanted, I remember you hadn't heard me scream yet. And you gave me a little talk. And you're like, now can you do this? And was like, we'll find out.
Well, and also there's this thing about when you fake a scream, you can see it.
Yes.
You can tell someone's faking a scream. And we're going we'll add the scream later. I remember I had one of the actors who will remain nameless, said, well, can't you just add the scream? And I went, no, when someone screams, it comes from the gut. Yeah, it's part of the performance, and it will read. Mm-hmm. You have to scream. She can scream.
I mean, and the movie's called Scream. Let's get it out. I'd like to know, obviously, Wes Craven is very much spiritually still very baked into this franchise, of course. For each of you, can you remember the best piece of advice that Wes Craven ever gave you?
I feel like his advice was his energy. It was calm and patient and playful and joyful. He loved what he did. He loved these movies. He loved making people scare. He had sort of a twisted sense of humor. And I don't want to say he didn't take it too seriously, because he did. But at the same time, there was just a lightness to him that was just so beautiful. So it wasn't a piece of advice as much as we follow the lead, the crew, the energy of the crew, the energy of the cast, the energy of everybody on set is led by the person standing at the top. And because he came from joy and love and a passion for this business and patience, we all sort of followed suit. And really, it's always been a very joyful set.
Yes, I echo everything she said. He had a grace about him. It was my first movie experience, and I didn't realize at the time that the writer's the first person who gets kicked off set because Wes didn't do that to me. Wes let me be a part of the location scout. Wes let me in on the casting sessions, and Wes let me be a part of all of it. And he was also there to answer every annoying, obnoxious question that I had. I'd be, well, what did you? He would be talking to the cinematographer, and they would setting up a shot, and I go, well, why did you do it that way? Why? And he would stop everything and explain it to me. And it was like, because he was my hero growing up, and I was the worshiper, and now he was my mentor, and I was the student. And I tried to soak it up. I didn't realize how good I had it with him because he was so nice. He created a family. Every sort of set was a family. And so we tried to sort of emulate that a little bit.
But that's what you do. That is exactly what you do.
It was so nice.
That's what he does. That is exactly the energy that he sets on set. And you shared with me. You had me by the monitor. You had me in the edit on this. You did that with me. You're very generous with your time and your knowledge.
Well, you know this character better than anyone. We sat, I'll bring my laptop over to her house on the weekend and go, okay, so what?
Well, guys, it was such a pleasure talking to you today. Scream 7 is in theaters on February 27th. Don't miss it. We have plenty more FanFest coming up. Stick around.